spawned in the bottom right in the red. He's going for an early pool. 15 pool in this game, number 1. His name is Solar. In the upper left in the blue. He had to get through a lot of TVT to get here. Not much TVZ, though. It's Byun. All right. So it's actually been a moment since I've cast a TVZ, I think. Am I getting a 4090 this week? Hell no. I got a 3090. I don't need a 4090. I am somewhat tempted to get an Intel Arc, the what is it, 770, and like build a second machine around it. Just to make sure that I can, well, it would let me do a couple things. It would let me do picture-in-picture for a StarCraft broadcast, and having a second streaming PC actually, as I start to stress my production capabilities even more, would be kind of nice, I think. But for right now, the Lings from Solar trying to wind their way onto the other side of the map. Now, Byun, did he get a Reaper? He did not. He went for a Marine opener. And 1 Marine against 6 Lings does not really win this fight, so the base will be delayed from Byun. So nice opener from Solar in this game. He went the long way around, but honestly, he could have just gone straight on through. SCVs have to get pulled as well, and it's just a bit of mining time that Byun loses here. So in the carousel, oh, Byun doesn't want to lose an SCV, but he does. In the carousel, oh, he's gonna get a second. Well done, Solar, and he only loses 3 Lings for it. Actually, this is such a great opener for Solar now. Natural is delayed. Oh, he's gonna try to get it out of the Marine, but SCVs get pulled again, so that's fine. Solo loses 5 Lings now. But anyway, Byun has his base delayed. He has 2 workers killed. He has to pull workers off mining, all for the cost of a slightly delayed hatchery for Solar and 6 Lings. You take that every day of the week. Solar finds himself just with I'm not going to say a build order advantage, because part of it is how you choose to play it and how good your micro is. But Solar takes a potential build order advantage and leverages it into a real advantage here in this game. Number 1, Cosmic is not a bad map for Zerg. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of bases, so as the game goes 30 minutes, it becomes more complicated. You really only have 6 bases aside, and then that gold base that is really hard to hold. But before then, the map is wide the hell on open. And if you just go pure Lingbanes into like Lingbane Hydra or something like that, Caveman Zerg, which has become more popular, just don't transition into late game, because the late game is a trap and the Terran will kill you with ghosts. But stay in the mid game and work out rather well. But look at this, we got a medevac done. 7 Marines on the map, Cyclone as well. And we're gonna see a bit of a drop here from Byun, I think. He's just been doing this really actually in all of his matchups. Kind of cool. So, picks up in the medevac, shoots across the map here. And well, okay, so for the moment, it's just a bit of an Overlord sniping mission. He will be successful in that illustrious endeavor. And now as the Queen goes left, Byun is going to rotate to the right side, where he's going to find himself another Overlord here. And as the Queens are not in position, this is another dead Overlord. Lings will arrive this time, and Byun is going to try to kill them. Oh, yep, Byun just gets every single one. And now the Overlord is going to stay alive. At the very least, Solar sacrifices Lings for Overlords. Oh, okay, so this is just so many layers of aggression for Byun. 7 Marines early in a medevac, and by the way, he hasn't lost a single Marine this game. It's only been those SCVs. But anyway, 7 Marines in a medevac, trying to supply block Solar as much as he can, maybe get some Queen energy, something like that. And now he's got an Armory, and he's got a Banshee. He's got a second Banshee on the way. He's got to have a cloak. He has this Cyclone that I don't know if it's with it is with the army. This is a powerful push from Byun. This is a tremendously powerful push from Byun. Lings on the other side of the map, though. They're going to try to distract Byun here, work their way through the wall, but I feel like you might need those Lings. That being said, we are looking at 9 Queens on the map right now, but Cyclone adding that just significant amount of extra DPS Transfuses are good enough for Solar for the moment, but Cyclone can reach the back lines of the Queens now. They're starting to fall down, running out of energy. And yes, the Hellbats are done, but the Marines are there. The Cyclone is still tremendously powerful, and it looks like the repairs are going to be good enough on the other side. So Lings will now arrive. This push gets beaten down. Eventually, Medevac falls. But that was 6 Queens. 6 Queens hit the deck. That being said, I'm not sure that that was worth it, though. Like, you got 6 Queens. That's incredible. That is so much damage. But, I mean, it's army for army here. Byun's third base tremendously far delayed. Solar can drone like a madman from this point on because he understands that there's not a lot of pressure that Byun can put on. It does delay his armor upgrade. He only has +1 attack on the way. Stim's at a decent timing. That's fine, but we're not going to have an army from Byun that can look to take advantage of these upgrade timings super easily. Certainly not before the Mailing Nest completes. And Solar didn't really have his creep spread mitigated at all. He's got pressure on the right side of the map, on the middle of the map. All of this together puts Solar in a pretty good spot despite losing 6 Queens. The big thing, he was building more. He didn't have his lair. I don't think he had his. I think he had his lair done by then, so he was able to build 3 Queens at a time. But hey, you know what? Banshee's on the other side. There's no detection here, so it's gonna have to be a lot of energy. So Byun is targeting on the high energy Queen, and he will get it at the end of the day. Ooh, he does not get it, but there he does. Banshees have to run away though. Still, that was a lot of energy sacrificed. Tremendous amounts of energy sacrificed on these Queens, which now means that they are not nearly as strong of a defensive force. They cannot spread creep as well. In general, it buys some Solar some theoretical pressure on the map, or beyond some theoretical pressure on the map. Banshees dive in though, and a couple more workers will go down, but Queen and Spore seems like it's going to be enough for now. Spore actually repositions itself. The Banshees don't have the energy to burrow. Queen will fall. Byun, the Queen sniper in this game. Really, we're like the, I don't know, we're like the courts of Japan. Assassinations all over the place. Queen's rulers getting taken down left, right, and center. I mean, I say the courts again. Medieval Japan. Excuse me. But Byun has this pressure. It doesn't feel like he can really wedge his way in towards the third base just yet. Bailey's speed is now done, so if there's a timing that Solar wants to hit, it is right the hell on now. Lings leads to make sure the tanks don't get 2 good shots, but the target from the tanks is pretty nice anyways, but the Banelings, they get on top of them immediately. So plenty of Banelings, they still remain. Byun has to run here and takes a big shot on his Marines at the last second. Byun, though, he's going to try to drop in the main base, and, well, it's a short distance by air, it's a long distance by ground. Meanwhile, another drop on the left side, trying to knock this third base down, or fourth base down, excuse me. So Byun, while the pressure did not work, while the aggression did not work, he's finding plenty of opportunities on the, really between the bases here. But even still, he gets a gas. I actually don't even know if he got the gas. It felt like he had much more damage potential, but he doesn't find it. These Banshees are so low. These Banshees are so damn low. It looks like, yeah, one of them, both of them will go down. A little bit of miscontrol there from Byun, but they found some value. They got a Queen. They did some other stuff, and this drop is, yeah, going to get knocked down. But Solar does not quite have the insane creep spread that he had a minute or so ago. These guys don't be doing a decent job of curtailing that. It's enough to keep Solar safe, but not enough for him to be really comfortable on the map. So this drop is not going to be dealt with. The Queens cannot find the range. And here comes the pressure from Byun's army on the left side. Really ping-ponging things here, and actually Solar just loses the space. No saving it whatsoever. Byun has to target up. Byun. Byun could have had that base. In fact, he might still, because this is fight off creep, and it doesn't feel like Solar quite has enough. But he could have had it easily. But now he had to work harder for it. Because Byun just wants to make our lives as fun as possible. Byun is on 2 bases though. This is one thing we have not mentioned. It is a 2 base all in. It is a 5 racks from Byun in this game. So as long as Solar is able to stay alive, despite the fact that he lost his 4th, he's still up a base. He has 2-2. It is 2-2 versus +1 attack. These timings from Solar are bountiful. The question though is whether a 50 supply lead is going to make up for the lack of upgrades. And it might. It very well might. More stuff is often better than less stuff. There are a decent amount of Banes on the map, 22 of them. And Byun's target fire will have to be immense. The longer this goes, of course, the better it is for Solar. But he doesn't have a lot of larva. And that's the big deal by getting that base with how active these queens have had to be defensively. There's not a lot of larva, so Banelings will get targeted down here. Byun doing a good job despite being down those upgrades. And he's going to get another maybe. Queen's now starting to take some amount of damage. Byun scans this out, knocks down more creep, which does make this position more pushable. Solar goes for a run by the third base, and he went and found nothing. Because this is a 2-base all-in from Byun. Unfortunate Solar. I feel like Solar kind of thought this was a 3-base Terran setup. It's 11 minutes in. That's what you would expect, or at the very least, a base to get lifted. But no, Solar's doing a great job staying patient here. That 50 supply lead, now it's a 25 army supply lead. Because he's just not opting into engagements. But Byun is trying to force that to happen. Lure all of these Banelings back into the tank range and Liberator range. And for right now, the object of his ire is a Spore. Byun finds his way into the mineral line, and Solar just has to retreat away. He's giving up the third base when his fourth base was not even done. But Solar again. His fourth base is done now, so that's fine. And there are now Vipers on the way. Dropping the main base from Byun's going to try to find something. But again, the supply lead is starting to shrink just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. And I think we're going to have to see Byun move his base from his main base over pretty soon. He only has 4 mineral patches there. He steps forward, and we got a decent surround coming in from Solar, but it seems like he wants to do more about knocking down reinforcements than anything. And again, Byun's doing a great job of clumping his reinforcements up massive. Look at this army. This is just another full-sized army from Byun, and there we go. Byun only has 4 mineral patches. He's going to have to actually reposition 2 bases here. Microing backwards takes in a fantastic spot. But I think he's still going to have to pick up and run. Yeah, there we go. It's in a great spot. The Blinding Clouds have a lot of stuff to say about that one. Byun, though, he's going to find the Vipers. That's really nice. Tank's still going to get some good shots as the Blinding Cloud runs out and Byun into the middle line. Here's going to get a couple drones. Remember, as bad of a position as Byun's economy has been, Solar's is not much better. He's only on 54 workers. He's only on 3 bases. And the Vipers go down. That is tremendously expensive. Byun, by the way, has lost half as much. Byun has lost half as much as his opponent. And in a low eco game like that, that is tremendously significant. Solo, though, he's got another barrel. He's got another bullet in the chamber. Ultra Cavern will now be the name of the game, as this one medevac will fall. Byun eating a lot of energy from those queens, but not really killing too many of them. But he's got a position here on the left side. I don't... Solar is going to try to keep this alive, actually. Banes go for it, but oh, the tank positioning is fantastic. Liberators aren't sieged up just yet, but Byun kites backwards here. Target fire on the Banes. And yeah, the Banes, they're actually just going to kill the tanks, but the bio stays alive. Solar is dead. It's a 14-minute 2-base all-in that Byun wins. Game 1 goes the way of the Terran. In the upper left side of the map here, in the red, he's down 1, falling to the relentless 2-base all-in from Byun. It's Solar. In the upper right, in the blue, up 1, because apparently he has infinite money. It's Byun. Game 1, Byun went for a 5-rex of all-in. He kind of transitioned out of it in that he moved his main base over to his third, and he did get an armory and a second eBay, so he was going to get 2-2 eventually, but that was a 2-base all-in. It lasted 14 minutes. Solar thought he was on top of things by bending and not breaking, by giving bases away and expanding elsewhere, but unfortunately for him, he didn't quite do that fast enough. There were a couple times where there was at least one point where Solar was on 2 bases for a second or 2. And really the big deal was that Byun out-traded Solar like mad. I think at one point it was 8,000 resources lost for Byun and 16 for Solar. Double efficiency in a 12-minute game, a 13-minute game. Actually, I think it was at 9 minutes at that point. But in 9 minutes, double efficiency when you're on a 2-base all-in, that's really good news. he refines his way into the natural. But again, do we even need to talk about this at this point? We should point out that Solar has gone for 6 lings, and this seems to be just becoming more and more common. For a while, the Korean Zergs were doing it against foreign Terrans, or when they were on bad service. So, for example, Solar was playing Clem, and so he's on a U.S. server, U.S. Central, U.S. West. Then we would see 6 lings, almost by default, because it's a little bit harder to micro against the Reaper. But, well, we don't see that. Hey, Disrespect SC2. Thanks so much for the tier 1 resub. 3 months in a row. Glad you're here. Glad you're having a good time. But Beyond going for 3 CC play. Game 1 was an all-in. Game 2 is a macro all-in. And that is what you can get away with on Stargazers. You go and you take your natural at the pocket base. It is more efficient for the Terran to take it than any other race because they can build the base right there, lift it over, and start mining. Although, Byun, mine your SCVs, please. You had those SCVs selected for a while, and there they go. But, yeah. Luckily, Solar will get the scout off. He can assume that Byun has taken his 3rd base. Or you can assume that Byun has taken the pocket base. So he sees that 3rd orbital where it is, and he's going to have a good understanding of where this game is going. Maybe not the exact flavor, but certainly he knows the dish. So Liberator will be the harassment option for Byun in this game. He scouts around with some Hellions and a Reaper, but the goal here is to deny creep. You don't expect to get much done. It is actually really hard to punch into the natural or the 3rd base on Stargazers if the queens are positioned appropriately, because the chokes are not all that big. So you take a lot of damage in the interim. So Byun, I don't think he's going to try too hard. Again, if he knocks down creep, if it retails the creep to within 1 screen of the 3rd base. Oh, that's a free queen. Actually, no, never mind. The queens are on the high ground. Actually, we talked about queens staying in position. They're not, so the Hellions... Oh, line these up. Byun gets 7 immediately. He's going to get 8. He's going to get 9. No, he's going to stay at 8, looks like, but a lot of lings as well. And realistically, most of these Hellions, they should be able to get on out. Huge mistake. 11 workers go down because there's a Liberator in the main base as well. Sloppy play from Solar. Now, Byun tries to push his luck a little bit further, but he will find lings and queens where they need to be. But he's just keeping queens out of mineral lines. He's really increasing the utility of the Liberator on the map. Now, queens should be able to defend this one. They're going to go to the 3rd base, sieging it up here, and actually, the queens will struggle to find their way in. They're going to take some damage here, but Byun just should target workers down. He gets 12 workers for the grand total of 4 Hellions, a Reaper, a Marine that was erroneously rallied across, and a Liberator. And the queens are stuck? Excuse me? There they go. I was like, pathing, please. My God. Much is made about how StarCraft units path too efficiently, and that's a problem. It makes splash damage too good. It makes the game too easy. Well, did you see those queens right there? They were derping the hell out. But I do like what we're seeing from Solar, at least from an expansion pattern. Taking the bottom left, that is the hardest spot for a Terran to push. But also, Stargazers, while it has some components of being a Zerg map, right? You can expand bottom left. You force the Terran to push diagonally on a pretty big map. It takes a while. That is very hard for the Terran to push. But on the flip side, this is a map that really only has 6 guaranteed bases for the Zerg. Much like Cosmic. And arguably, it's even worse because some of those guaranteed, quote-unquote, guaranteed bases are pretty hard to take. Extremely droppable, extremely pushable. So this is very much a game, much like Cosmic, where the Zerg wants to win in the mid-game. And the Bio stems forward here. They're going to get 1 queen. No good transfuses there from Byun. Solar did find himself supply blocked a little bit. And this is not the true push of Byun. He does not have combat shields. He does not have 1-1. This is just a tribute. A 1-1. Just about done. Good enough. 75%. Armory now completing, and did I see? Yes, I did see Widow Mines on the way. So these Widow Mines will now be cloaked. It just makes them a little bit harder to deal with. But of course, as the Overseers pop, they'll be able to attack them well enough Byun trying to take this fight before his opponent's 1-1 is done, but also his 1-1's not done, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Widowmines go forward. Friendly fire. No. Oh, the Banelings on the backside, though. They all go down. Solar was trying to bait friendly fire, but the Marines were all picked up in time. And that second bit Widowmine, unfortunately, we couldn't see how much it killed because, of course, it was killed in the process. But that killed so many Banes. We can take a guess. Actually, maybe it's only 4 Banes, but a lot of Lings did go down. So, bit of miscontrol there from Solar, and now Byun's just going to put himself in a corner. This is not a position that is easy for Solar to deal with, and he's going to move again once this army on the bottom side of the map starts to put pressure on. Multi-pronging the hell out of Solar, and Solar's upgrades, I mean, they're good. They're equivalent with what Byun has, but we do not have Byun in this game doing what he is so want to do, which is just not get his upgrades. But as this push happens here, Widowmine will burrow shot. Okay. Widowmines don't get all that much done, but Baneling speed is only done just now. But Byun pushing on the bottom side. Looks like his drop is not doing anything just yet. Target fire attempted. Byun doesn't lose all that much, but he will be shoved back for the moment, and we should see him any second now. Micring up top. There we go. He's got the unit selected and gonna kill Ling. Okay. Moves forward here. Oh, good target fire, but he can't quite get enough. He has 2 Banes, but really not much more than that. Solar going for a very quick hive in this game. He's got Hydras on the way, but I don't know that this is going to be Lurker play necessarily. First of all, I mean, Lurkers feel like a bit of a trap in TVZ. Because once the Terran gets goes, the Lurkers just feel so bad, and the Terran wants an excuse to go. I've seen Zergs have much more success with effectively Hydraling Bane Viper. You get Hive for Vipers, you get it for 3/3, you get it for Adrenal. That is about it. And you just play mass eco. You hit them with a big stick over and over again, and you hope that they die. But it will be okay. A Lurker Den at least is going down here for Solar as Byun pushes on the bottom side, and Byun he was super effective with his harassment early, but he hasn't really leveraged that into too much of a lead in this game. Okay, so he has been able to get his 4th base pretty much unfettered. He's been trading decently enough, but he hasn't turned it into a significant lead at this point. Now the Lings go forward. Widowmines are not where they need to be, and there are enough Banelings at this point, 23 on the map, and most of them on the bottom side, that it doesn't really seem like Byun's going to be able to get too much done here. Widowmine is still cloaked, dropping the main base here, and the Widowmine will go down. Byun, as he's out creep, he's going to kite backwards and trade pretty efficiently. But this drop in the main base, this is what Byun wants. He drops this. I don't know quite why he dropped a scan. I guess trying to make sure that there were no hidden Banelings or something. And now he's going to push through the middle of the map as well. One Marauder on the north side. Well, it's just going to tag a Baneling or 2, and that will go down. So the Horde of Byun is starting to find a little bit more advantage, but there are actually no Marauders in this composition anymore. Widowmine's getting some fantastic shots, but the bio on the right side is going to be a little bit run down, and Byun does have to back up. But it is this drop. It's not the main army. The main army is a distraction. Really, it is these drops that is looking for the values. Again, Byun great target fire. Loses the medevac, but it was empty anyways. 3/3 on the way. 1/3 on the way for Solar as he looks to power up his Hydras just a little bit more. And both players are maxed out. But the big deal is the Zerg has no bank. And he is trading much better in this game. Let's be clear. Last time at this point, it was minus 8,000 resources less. This time, it's 2K. As the Zerg is always mining a little bit more. You're kind of okay with that as Solar. This is well within the standard of what you're okay with losing. The personal cloaking is now on the way. We do have a Ghost Academy at the very least. No ghosts just yet, but Byun has the ability to make him. No, this high feels a little bit undefended. Byun only has 2/2 though, so it looks like he will just go for workers. Not going to try to snipe the base and pick it up. There we go. Once again, Viper is out, and it's going to look for a parasitic bomb, but Byun with some splits. Byun, you got to split here. Byun, you got to split. Byun, you got to split. He's going to lose the medevac. And another one. Another one. But it's only because he was fighting on the bottom side here. Paying attention, make sure he can get a more effective push going in. Lings and Banes. Oh, big Widowmine connection there on a lot of the Banes, but it's not going to be enough. So Byun does have to kite backwards once again. A lot of these Marauders tremendously low as the Lings nip at their heels, and there's actually not enough room in these medevacs to pick everything up. But Byun looks like he will be able to escape. For the most part, that medevac is very low, and he is not getting nearly the value that from his harassment that he got in game number 1. And now Lurkers are hitting the field, but so are Ghosts. And Byun, he doesn't have his 5th base just yet. Solar does, but Byun's economy, it's fine. He's on 5 bases. His 6th base is on the way, although it's on location, and a Ling will punish Byun severely for having the gall to try to take your fifth base on location, Byun. My God. But here comes the army of Solar pushing forward. Ghost snipes go down, but none of the lurkers fall just yet. Widowmine has a great tracker beam, and there we go. That's a couple lurkers going down, and Byun on the high ground here is actually in a wonderful position. He's just going to snipe from afar. Lurkers continue to fall. Ling's Banes look to roll in. Byun has to pick his base up, but going up the high ground here feels really, really hard. SCV's not really falling just yet either. 10 of them will go down, but I don't know that this was... Well, Solar's got a bank. And he got 19 workers, but the surround here from Byun is really, really nice. Snipes go down on top of all of the lurkers, and that makes this feel not nearly as worth it. Yes, the first part of that fight was pretty good, and it looks like Solar lost he lost 2 drones, not really relevant. Byun now down to 65 workers. That was an orbital that he lifted. He's on 4 base orbital. I didn't even point that out. He's on quad scan in this game, which means that he can afford to lose some workers, and now he's up 40 armies. Well, he's got 3-3. He's got plentiful ghosts on the field, 3 of them at a time, rallying across. And how many banelings? 27. That's a significant amount. There's not a ton of splash here, but the Marauders at the front, honestly, you can take with a ghost as well. It takes 6 banelings to kill a ghost. This army from Byun is really hard for Solar to deal with, especially as Byun kites backward. Targets banelings down. Snipes go down on a bunch of these Hydras, the units that you kind of want to keep alive. Slang coming from the right side a little bit, but not really all that much. 9 more workers do go down for Byun, but it feels like he's really starting to punch right on through here. The banelings now, they're going to go forward, but Byun just cloaks up his ghost. He runs away. And this base, I think, is dead at this point. I don't know how much really saving it is possible. But, okay, Bailey's got some good connections here. A bunch of ghosts do go down, but the concave from Byun is still really nice indeed. The rally now can run across in earnest, but it seems like Solar has kept his base alive after all. And a lot of the ghosts fell. We're at 11 dead ghosts this game. Resources last, though. The gap is starting to increase just a little bit more. Byun scans the bottom side, finds that there is a gold. Solar, how does he respond to this? Byun burrows Widowmines behind him, so chasing Solar loses a bunch. We'll catch a couple workers at the very least, but it's a scary position. Byun's gonna have to pick up and run here. Widowmines are nice. The first one is, oh, that medevac gets so low off the friendly fire. So Solar is going to sweep Byun from the map once again. Ghosts on the low ground. That is going to get targeted down here. And Byun, so much of his army sitting in the air. He's got to find some way to make this happen. And I feel like he's lacking tanks. I mean, yes, technically, oh, those ghosts are very exposed. But actually, if there's no detection, they're doing a pretty good job here. Good Widowmines on the backside. But it feels like Solar is just punching right on through. Byun, he needs his reinforcements. He needs them now. The Banelings, they come crashing in. But the Banelings now, they're starting to run out. And the ghosts, they do so much bonus damage to light. Actually, they're starting to shred these Hydras here. The Banelings, they don't get what they want. Byun loses some of his army, but he's going to be able to clean this one up at the end of the day. Keeps his ghost alive. Snipes goes down, but he loses vision. I don't think does he have any? Oh, he doesn't have any medevacs. Not one medevac on the field for Byun. But the banks have been reset, and again, Byun is trading better. He's now up 8,000 resources. And it's not often that we see just how powerful the Ghost is as an attacking unit. Much has been made of EMPs and how broken that might be. Much has been made of snipes and how kind of broken that feels. I personally believe that if you snipe and it gets canceled, you should not have your energy refunded. But another problem with the Ghost is they two-shot links. They two-shot drones. They do so much bonus damage to light. SCVs have to get pulled here. Byun a little bit slow on that one. It doesn't really have anything to buffer for the Banelings this time, but his splits are good on the backside here. Ghost staying alive for the most part. He closed them up. Overseers joined the fight now, but that's just a little bit too late, but 22 workers go down. Even still, though, Byun is on 4 orbitals. He's got 5 bases. And, well, actually, I'm sorry, he's on 6 orbitals. I think that's right? Where is that? We got to fight yet. We'll take a look at that in a second. We have Solar moving forward. That one lurker is going to get sniped down with impunity. Byun, his supply is plummeted, though. He's down 40 workers, and as much as we want to talk about 8, he's got 8 orbitals. Like, he has tons of mules here. You still want to go above 40 workers at this point. Good parasitic bomb, blinding cloud on top of this army, and Byun is fighting so hard to stay alive, but it is not enough. And Solar shows his proficiency with the late game Zerg. 17 minutes. It takes game 2. At the bottom left side of the map, folks, in the red. He fell in game 1, but took a slugfest of a game 2. It's Solar. In the upper right, in the blue, folks, his name is Byun. So it seems thus far in this series that Byun is feeling a little bit more comfortable in his aggression. Just in terms of performance, not in terms of strategies chosen. And Solar is really embodying this caveman Zerg. He's been doing it for a while. He is one of the few Zergs, Raynor and Cyril, and the Zergs that currently play. I guess maybe Dark. And I'm not Raynor actually. Cyril and Dark are really the other two that can handle. That can deal with late game ghost biome. But Byun is doing something a bit interesting here. He went CC first into 2-1-1. That's not something you see all that often. It's a massive influx of money early into a rather powerful timing. Now this is punishable. One of the reasons that the 2-1-1 happens to be became less popular for a while is the Zerg can effectively drone with impunity. You can get away with the delayed clash, which is what Solar is going for in this game. Notice he's not going to get speed started until about 2:30. It means that, well, speed is not done until 4 minutes, but his Byun is not going to look to be on the map until about 4:35 minutes. Well, it means that he's absolutely okay with that one. So you can go and be very greedy as the Zerg player if you have the scout off. That's exactly what Solar will do. So speed now on the way as soon as he has the minerals for it. And as soon as he has the minerals for it. There we go. Okay. But again, we did see Byun with tremendous power with his 2 base all-in in game number 1. Of course, this is Data C. This is a much bigger map. 2 base all-ins are not nearly as impressive. The third base to third base rally on Cosmic is pretty quick. That cannot be said nearly as much for Data C. It's the biggest map we have in the pool. At least it plays like the biggest map that we have in the pool. It's the most turtle map. Well, okay, that's not true. Moondance is very good for camping. Luckily, as we approach winter, people don't want to camp as much, so I guess that works out. So Stem just about done, that 4:30 mark that we are just so familiar with these 2-1-1s. And by the way, if anyone is going to make it 2-1-1 look good, his name is Byun. He won world championships off this. He got it along with the Proxy Reaper play. He kind of got it nerfed a little bit. So we're gonna have to see how much damage this gets done. Of course, the Overlord is gonna be the first target, and Byun is aware that this is here, so he's gonna take the pit stop in the middle of the map. At the very least, get his 100 minerals. At the very least, cut down on the supply cap from Solar. Obviously, it's not going to supply block him, but force another Overlord out. That's a set of lings that you don't have. But Solar's got 20 lings on the way. He's already got 14 on the map, so he's at that 30 count, give or take, that you want to make sure that you defend against this. Byun sims on the high ground. Queen's back up for just a second, and Byun tries to target one down, but he does not even get that. Solar is well prepared for this, absolutely. In fact, the Queens, they micro forward, and that medevac, well, it's going to go down. Byun does not get anywhere near the amount of damage that he's looking for in this game whatsoever. And now this means 1-1 can get started. which, by the way, Byun doesn't have. I don't even know that he has an eBay. He doesn't. So this is not the Maru 2-on-1 that has a third medevac later on that gets +1 attack. It's single Evo, and then you go from there. You got a Widowmine. No. This was the classic 2-on-1. And Solar loses almost nothing. But Byun does have tanks on the way now. And yes, he is adding a third base, so it's not a full 2-base all-in. But he is doing what he can to level up the pressure. Normally, after 2-on-1 ends, after that first pressure doesn't work, you're in a bit of a sorry spot for a Terran for a little bit. You don't really have that much damage, but a couple queens will go down. That's actually very nice here for Byun. Solar making a big mistake running off creep like that, trying to knock things down. So this is going to be another queen. Okay, transfuse is good, but it does force energy out. And now we're looking at 6 queens from Solar. Not 7, not 8, not 9, only 6. Do want a little bit more than that one, and Solar is looking to try to delay this push from happening. It's scary. He wants his 1-1. He wants his Bailey speed, and that's a ways off though. So Byun has sieged himself up on the edge of creep on the high ground right here, and actually this really enables a drop from Byun into the high ground. The tanks can hit the high ground from the low ground, much like if this game goes super late, the tanks can hit the low ground from the high ground, which denies the Zerg trying to rotate the map and try to take the equivalent base, the 3 o'clock base on the other side. But upgrades for Solar are nearing completion, and he gets a good scout here on the drop that Byun is looking for on the right side of the map. So yes, the pushes from Byun are scary, but they're about to get a lot less scary in about 10 seconds. And yeah, Baneling speed not being done is a bit of a problem, but at the very least, Lings are tracking things. It is 1-1 versus 0-0. Will be like that for quite a while. And Byun, despite killing a couple queens, and I thought he was going to drop on the high ground under the Aegis of tanks, he cannot find what he's looking for. There's the timing, though, that Solar is looking for. Baling speed is now done. Everything that he could possibly want to fight what Byun has, it's here, it's ready. I'm curious, how many barracks is Byun at? He's at 5, single factory. So, but he's adding in, there we go. He's adding the 3 additional racks. It will be an 8 racks here in this game number 3. And again, these games where Byun has the tempo, seems like he is playing much better. It's those games where he stalls out and he kind of has to go to the late game that it does feel like this is something that Solar is more favored in. So Bio stems forward, knocks down a couple workers. We'll get this queen as well. But Solar is cleaning up that really annoying army on the north side. He maybe sacks a few too many Banes, but he does kill the tanks, and that really is worth quite a bit. 8 workers go down on the 4th base of Solar. And actually, his worker count, you got to rebuild it. He's only on 63. And if you're playing Ling Bane off 63 workers, that is not exactly what you want. And by the way, we talked about classic builds. This was the classic 2-on-1. It is now a classic 8 racks. We're not seeing the Clem variant where you actually don't get add-ons on those 3 additional barracks. No. 3 additional reactors on the way. So this is tons of Marines, a couple Marauders for Spice, a couple Widowmines for Spice. And yes, Byun is getting the 4th base now. So he's not quite 8 racks all-inning, but he is going to have a lot of... He's increasing his production before he's increasing his economy. So he does want to get something done here, and he's going to get another queen. Lings will arrive. Actually, no, queen won't go down. So Lings arrive again. Solar doesn't have the upgrade lead for another 20 seconds, but Lings do arrive, and they do force this back. Gas going down. It's a bit annoying, and I'm surprised to see the lack of a Hydra Den. I feel like against a push like this, having Hydras is actually rather nice, especially as Byun is leaning heavily into his multiprong. It means you can actually deal with some of the medevacs. But Ling Bane is also fairly good indeed. He can just crush armies. So, Solar getting closer and closer to maxing out. He's got a 2 upgrade lead here, and I feel like he could just go take this fight. There really is not a lot of splash damage. 2 Widowmines on the backside really is all that it is. But I guess the argument is that, well, looks like this drop is dealt with. I guess the argument is that there's a lot of Marauders, so you don't really want to take that fight easily. Drop. Okay, drop stays alive, but Marines go down. Byun, does he push forward here? Now he does. Drops a scan, tries to knock down some of the creep. And Solar now he's got his infestation pit on the way. Now he's eventually going to get ready for Hive, but again, this is a much later Hive than he had in game number 2, which just means that Byun's going to be able to catch up on his upgrades. It means that Byun... These Lings are just taking forever to kill those Marines. And okay, Solar's gonna lose the base as well. So Byun is really starting to put the pedal to the metal here in this game number 3. He gets a base, he gets some workers, but here comes Solar flooding forward. This is something you can do if you just go on Mastling Bane. You can flood across the map. If you catch your opponent's army in the air, like Byun's absolutely is, Ling's looking for this round. A couple Banelings sectioned off to try to knock the workers in his base down. 9 workers fall, and now Byun, it has to go back into his natural. The Widowmines, they burrow, but they get absolutely nothing done. Tanks in the high ground, gonna have to be the saving grace. 14 workers go down. The third base of Byun is broken, and all the damage that Byun got, that he's been starting nickel and dime out of Solar here, well, now it is starting to go down the drain. Lots of Banelings get picked off on the end of that, though. Good job, Byun. But 16 workers fall. Resources lost. Not all that far ahead for Byun. It's about, well, I guess it's 4K. That's not bad. We are 11 minutes in, so call it 12 minutes. Less than 1,000 resources a minute lost in... oh, actually, we're not going to do that math. That's fine. That's a massive drop in the main base, though. They're going to find a couple queens. This is a pretty vulnerable hive here, but the queens will return. Ling's actually struggling to get this round. Queens on the right side. Widowmine's going to burst them down before they can get their transfuses off in earnest. But the bio is just fighting the Lings, not trying to deal with the hive. Feels like that may be something that could have been sniped. Solar, he will lose this fifth. Maybe not. No, he's not going to lose the 5th base. The Solar seems like he will be able to return over in time. But he doesn't have 3-3 on the way. Despite the hive being done, no 3-3 on the way just yet, because he has to deal with all of the crises, all of the panic that Byun is starting to build on the map. We saw a massive supply lead for Solar just a minute ago, but Byun again tapping into it. He only has 55 workers, but Solar only has 71, and there is no anti-air. The Vipers are on the way now. This double drop on the cliff is just obnoxious. It is so annoying here for Solar to deal with as he continues to snipe queens. As this one falls, that will be the 12th queen that has died this game. Vipers pop out, but no sniping potential there. Not enough Marines left over beyond a big army. We're sallying forward on the bottom side, but Solar seems to be able to take the fight before the Widowmines burrow up in earnest. Widowmine shots are okay. And here come the Lings. They run forward. Marauders splitting, but that just provides surround opportunities for these Lings. Even still, the Bailey's not getting the connections that they need. Gets pulling back so masterfully. Solar loses this fight. And he also has not dealt with the drop in the main base all that well. So Byun is just on top of things here in this game number 3. He doesn't have his +3 armor upgrade. He's forgotten that one, but that just tells you that Byun is feeling as though it's because he's pulled a Byun in the extreme. Widowmines, they go off kind of, but really it's 3 Banelings that are all in production here, and it feels like Solar needs every single one of them. Parasitic Bomb gets 1 medevac down, but oh, from downtown, bunch of Banes fall. Meanwhile, 6 workers lost in the main base. Byun, this drop is still finding value. Solar just can't look at it. Solar just has to not look at his main base because it's not something he can respond to at the moment. How many we have 8 Banelings on the field. That is just about it. Solar is incredibly broke here, only on 66 workers. And 11 workers go down. Widowmine doesn't get much there. Byun has a significant army supply lead, but he hasn't been able to rally it forward. He hasn't been able to bring it together just yet. He's trying. And he will take a moment here to rally it all. And that does also buy time for Banelings to theoretically to complete, but Byun, no, he's not giving Solar that time whatsoever. Well, a couple Banelings join in. Parasitic Bombs as well, trying to keep this army from staying alive, but Byun smashes through. He foments chaos, and he capitalizes. Byun, 2-1. Upper right side of the map, folks, in the red. He's down 1-2. He was good in the late game until Byun ripped him asunder on Data C. It's Solar. And the bottom left, in the blue, 2-1, Byun. And as a reminder, that previous game was a game where Byun started with the 2 racks, 2-on-1. Excuse me, not technically 2 racks. Got absolutely nothing done. But Byun's mid-game multiprong is just so impressive. Now, if it doesn't work, he just dies, as we saw in Stargazers. But in general, his mid-game multiprong is just so impressive. is just so impressive that it really does end a lot of games. But okay. Doesn't seem like we're going to get that 2-on-1 in this game number 4. I think Byun has realized that that is maybe not the optimal play. Maybe. Just a little bit. Tiny, tiny bit. But as I say that, he's doing a little bit different of a variant. It's not CC first and do 2-on-1, so this one hits a little bit slower. It's not quite... Oh, okay. Third barracks going down. Byun, he's got a game to give. It's Waterfall. It's a short as hell map. It's not short as Moondance, but still pretty short. Is going for a 3 racks. And Solar has a Overlord in decent position to scout it, assuming that Byun does not put Marines to properly defend this. But this is a Overlord coming in from a weird spot. Byun has his Marines on the map because they are going to try to knock down an Overlord as it establishes position. Unfortunately for him, the Overlord is already there. He will not find it. Well, actually, is there a world where he does?
SCV ready. Go, go, go!
I guess not. Problem is, though, that 4:15 scout timing, that 4-minute scout timing that the Zerg tends to send units in, that may be a little bit too late. So there are 6 Marines on the map right now from Byun. And okay, he will see the he will see that Overlord as well, so he's gonna be able to deny this scout. Did Solar see the Marines? I don't know.
Under attack.
I don't know, but he does have extra lings on the way. Speed is going to be done at 4 minutes, right? He went for that delayed clash opening once again that really Solar has been a fan of. He kind of is the only Zerg that does so, but it seems like he has an understanding here. It seems he knows that something is up, doesn't know exactly what just yet, but that is a quick baneling nest, and that is what you need to see. He is building more drones, though. Stim is halfway done. Combat shields are halfway done. There are the additional lings, and Solar knows what's happening at this point. 10 lings on the way. He sees what is happening. He sacrifices a couple lings for it. How many queens do we have? 6 on the map, 4 at the front, 5 at the front, more on the way. 22 lings on the way. Solar knows exactly what is happening in this game, but it is a difference. It is a wide gulf between understanding what is happening and doing what you need to do, because Byun's micro has been incredible in this series, and it is still hard to make this happen on Waterfall. But at the very least, Solar knows that understanding is incredibly important. But combat shield's done. Stim done in about 20 seconds, give or take. 6 banelings are on the way. And that is really all the gas that Solar has. He can morph 1 additional baneling, and he will. The question now is, how good is Byun splits? Does he, does actually Byun even commit to this? I'm not sure. He's got +1 on the way. I wouldn't even mind. He's going to go forward. He's going to knock Creep Tumor down. I would not even mind Byun if he finds a way to get this army home, which is always going to be difficult as Solar is active on the map. He does have speed. But if he finds a way to get this army home, okay, Byun pops a stim, kites backwards here, trying to find a way to escape the surroundings. Get a good surround here. Big baneling connections will go down, and Byun loses his entire army. I was going to say, I kind of like if Byun is active a little bit, but gets that army home. That would be a great spot. Continues to build SCVs, builds a 3rd base behind it. And then you have this Solar that has built himself up to 9 queens, which is not too crazy, but decent amount of queens. Built, what was that, 10, 12 banes, tons of lings. And if you just keep your army alive, that makes the next push incredibly powerful. But unfortunately for Byun, he loses his entire army, and that is uncomfortable. But his 3rd base is on the way. Got 2 additional barracks, so he is getting ready for the next stage of this game, but Solar can kind of do whatever he wants for a little bit. Byun lost how many Marines? 24 Marines. That's a lot of Marines. In fact, if we look at resources lost, it's just about even. And at 6 minutes in an ATVZ, that is not what you want to see, especially not as the Zerg has been taking the 4th base. Now, granted, Solar did delay his 4th. And he did delay droning for a while, had to build a lot of links. So that is something. Byun's going to try to find some of these queens, but they're all very healthy in the energy department. So he's going to deny creep a little bit, but not all that much. And, well, he's got a drop idea into the main base. And with mainly speed only just now getting started, technically he can find something. But but he's going to drop into the natural here because, well, he figures the army's going to go into the main, so at the very least he can get something. But Banelings were not fooled. Lings were not fooled. Byun loses half of his drop, has to turn out, run away. And Solar, because of the fact that his third base is late, because of the fact that this was heavy pressure from Byun, he is not going for double upgrades. At least not yet. He's got his second Evo now, but he's got Carapace on the way. It's by far the more important upgrade in this matchup, and he just wants to make sure he stays alive. And Byun, on Waterfall, we saw how effective his 8 racks was in that last map. He's adding 3 additional barracks. He's going to an 8 racks. I'm curious to see what add-ons he chooses, but he just wants to exert pressure on Solar. He wants to lean into him hard. Make him feel how heavy he is. Oh, that sounds awkward. He wants to lean hard on Solar, really make his life difficult. And I mean, he's not even building add-ons. He's building 12 Marines at a time, maybe even more. As a couple queens, 1 queen will go down, 2 queens go down. Nice catch there from Byun. Liberators siege up, but a Spore is there, so Liberators, they go elsewhere. And we are on 7 queens, so we don't really see Solar going back up to 9. And double Liberator here is actually kind of complicated. You have to make absolute certain that your queens don't take any damage. On the bottom right side, Byun tries to find a little bit more. He kills Lings, but when the Banelings arrive, he has to retreat, has to return home. And if Byun adds tanks here, we're not really seeing his supply start to balloon just yet. He has +1 attack, but his opponent does have +1 armor, so no advantage there. And he will have armor right around the same time that +1 attack is done. So from that perspective, it's kind of funny, but the upgrades, they're going to equalize that for the most part. And it really will be reliant on these tanks for Byun to find the value that he's looking for, but a big drop in the main base. Ooh, there's nothing here. This is going to be the start of something. 4 workers go down pretty much instantaneously, and actually it's going to be 5. And Byun now targeting down the spawning pool. So yeah, Solar's going to lose this. So he's not going to be able to build any Lings for the next, 45 seconds? However long a spawning pool takes to be made. And this is a timing for Byun. This is an opportunity for Byun to really start to find some value. He's got, 3 tanks here on the right side. Spore is going to be a little bit annoying, so Byun has to move back. Tanks, now they're decently split here. Byun off creep, kites backwards. All the Banelings go down, and this is an opportunity here for Byun, kiting backwards. Lings cannot fight the Marines by themselves, but it's only 1 medevac, so that's a bit of a problem, but Byun choosing to stim forward anyways. Creep is still here, though, so it's kind of hard. Byun is going to be fully revealed the entire time, but even still, now he's going to stim on top. Lings are now dead. Byun trying to get on top of the Hydras, but Hydra's actually fighting damn well. Hello, transfuse as well, but here comes the next round of this army. It really is only Hydras being made. Remember, there is no spawning pool, so no potential. No potential for Banelings, because there are no potential for Lings. So Byun looks like he will be able to shove his way through this base. But it's funny seeing Hydras fight this well. You're used to saying, okay, well, Hydras, they don't really fight. They do damage from the back line, and if ever they're forced to fight, it's a problem. But Byun's army gets just small enough that that will be fine. So Hydra's actually doing a great job holding the line. Still pretty expensive there for Solars. Now here come a bunch of Lings moving in, but we have Liberators on top of these tanks. Tanks on 2 lines. Bio's doing a great job. The Lings will all fall, and now the Hydras fight so much worse. Banelings cannot join the fray either. That's Queen is dead as it pops. And Solar, it almost feels like he just has to give this position up. It is just so expensive for him to hold down. Byun now kites backwards. Banelings get a decent job. Actually, they do a great job of allowing Solar to get on top of the tank. But Byun's up double the army supply. And every time Byun moves forward, it feels like he gains more space in this position. The base is now, it's not dead, but it's dead. So Byun targets that down. Solar, he taps out. Byun, relentless aggression on the 8 racks, makes it happen ever so slowly, like a tide encroaching. Every time he gets a little bit more. And Solar, your champion here, EPT North America 144, 3-1 over Solar.